Hi guys. So, feels like the good old times. I am sitting on the floor and I'm going to just talk about what's on my mind and just film a good old raw emotion video sort of thing. I wanted to tell you about what's happened recently in my life, and I recently posted on Instagram asking you guys what comes to your mind when you hear the words letting go. And I got so many different answers that were really interesting. By the way, if you don't know, I am somehow sort of becoming a bit more active on Instagram, so if you want to follow me on there, you can always do that. And I'm gonna try be more active over there. Anyway, so I'm thinking of just filming a little series of videos, not that many, maybe 3, all about letting go. There are different things you can let go of. There are people, relationships, dreams, a vision of yourself, and that's what I'm gonna try and talk about in the following videos. And today I just wanted to tell you a bit more about what's happened recently in my life that kind of made me think about letting go a bit more seriously and a bit more in depth than usual. As you may know, I am a French teacher. I work in the national education system, and for the past 3 years I was working in a school, a high school and middle school, and that was my first time working in national education system. So that was my first school being a literature and French teacher in the national education system, right? Before that, I was working as a French teacher for foreigners, so that was very different, and I worked in 3 different places in that job. So I have experience in terms of changing jobs, but I clearly do not have as many experiences as a lot of people, especially I'm pretty sure if you're watching me from the States, because I feel like in the United States you have so many jobs even when you're a student, and the people I know in the States have worked at a few different places when I just haven't. So anyway, I changed school basically. So this school year was my last year in my middle school and high school, and that is a very, very happy and positive thing for me, because I've hinted at it in some of my videos and on Instagram quite frequently. It was going awful. I just felt very unhappy. I just felt very uncomfortable in that middle school and high school, in that school. I'm gonna say school, but keep in mind it's not like a primary school or anything, or a kindergarten. I just felt really uncomfortable. I just didn't like working there. I just didn't like a lot of the colleagues that I had. I just didn't feel comfortable, nor did I trust the directors of the school, and in my opinion, if you ask me, there was a lot of toxicity and a lot of unprofessionalism in that school. And meanwhile, I was also going, and I'm still going, but I was going through depression and anxiety really strong. I have been struggling, you could say, yes, with depression for really severely, I want to say, for the past 3 years. But even before that, I want to say like the past maybe 4 or 5 years have been really hard on me, and I've been going on and off medication, trying to get into therapy, but that never really worked. So it was really, really difficult. And as you may know, we were under lockdown, and everything was so difficult, and I was struggling with health. So I was very often on sick days, on sick leave. I just didn't feel like going. No, it wasn't that I didn't feel like going to school. It was just that I couldn't go to work. So the situation really worsened, and it was all for the best that I left. So I'm really happy now. In a way, I'm still struggling with depression, as I've told you, so I'm not really happy, but I'm really happy about the change of school. I am now going to work in a school that's a lot more positive in my opinion. I feel a lot more in tune with the way things are handled and organized. from what I've seen, there isn't as much toxicity and as much unprofessionalism in terms of hierarchy and privileges that are given to some colleagues over others. You know, seems very different. The school is also very close to my home because the previous school was quite far away. If I were to go there by public transport, it would take me between 1 hour and 20 minutes to over maybe almost sometimes 2 hours. So you can imagine how exhausting and draining that is. And I am going to work as a French teacher for foreigners again in that school. So I'm going to teach to basically underage migrants. So I'm coming back to my roots, kind of, and I'm letting go of a lot of things. I am letting go, first of all, because I'm changing school, and I'm letting go because I have decided to not care at all what people are gonna think of me, or a pigeon just arrived, or what people are gonna say about me after, you know, I really leave, like next September. For a long time I really wanted to have my voice heard and have a chance to explain myself and tell about what I've been through in that school, what I had been through, the harassment, because I do think there was harassment, and I wanted to express my side of the story because I know that I'm gonna be portrayed as this teacher that was never here, you know, that was never there, that was always on sick days and whatever. I let go of that, and that feels very freeing. I also just let go of, you know, a toxic situation and a toxic environment, and I felt like at first I thought that it would be much harder because I was really anxious and really sad about leaving my students, about leaving some colleagues, because some colleagues were really kind and I was getting on, I get on very well with some of them. So I had a lot of anxiety about that, and I had also a lot of anxiety about going to a new school, meeting new people and being in a new environment, and I was expecting it to be much more like painful and perhaps a bit heavier and perhaps a bit more lingering in terms of, you know, this feeling of, oh, I'm leaving this, or I'm not gonna work there anymore. But surprisingly, it just happened overnight, you know what I mean? As soon as I knew that it was my last day, I kind of erased that place from my mind. It's not to say that I never think about it anymore, it's just that I am completely fine with not being able to, with not working there anymore. It feels like it never really happened. I have the memories of the place, I have the memories of the people, but in terms of feelings, I just keep, unfortunately, some anxiety linked to the harassment that I suffered in that place. But apart from that, I just feel like it never really happened. I'm already on to the next chapter, and that's so positive and so amazing, and that's something that never really happened to me, because every time I let go of an experience, every time I change, I keep things, I tighten my fist, and I'm like, I'm just going to remember that, I'm just going to get stuck on that feeling and not on those emotions. And for maybe the first time, probably not the first time, but it kind of feels like the first time, for the first time I am changing in a significant way, and I am not sad, and I'm not even thinking that much about it. So that was the positive, and that also obviously made me think of, okay, what else am I letting go of? And I am changing subjects. I am not going to teach literature. I'm not going to be a part of the literature team anymore, so to speak. I won't be able to study text. I won't have to mark and grade tests. I won't have to teach my students how to make dissertation and commentary and analysis. And that's something I really loved. That's something I really appreciated doing. And I really debated whether I wanted to pursue teaching French as a foreign language, or whether I wanted to remain the traditional French teacher in the national education system. And once again, very surprisingly, even though I love being this literature teacher and this French teacher and this grammar teacher and this commentary and analysis teacher, I quite naturally decided to go back to teaching French as a foreign language. And it just felt very natural too. It just feels like I'm letting go of a moment in my life that wasn't really meant to happen, or that should perhaps have never happened, or that perhaps I wasn't ready for, or that perhaps was just happened to me to realize that there are things I am not happy with and things I don't need to endure for so long. Maybe that's a real lesson on you need to change when you're feeling bad, when you're feeling uncomfortable. You need to make changes happen. And that's something I struggle with personally, and I think that's really linked to my inability to let go. I will tend to remain in toxic situations or really difficult and unfulfilling relationships and situations and environments because I'm so afraid of change and because I'm afraid of regrets. I am so afraid of regretting, and I was really afraid that I would regret choosing French as a foreign language, that I would regret leaving the school, that I would regret not having done this and that in that school. And I actually don't. I actually feel really good, and I feel a lot more free and a lot lighter and a lot more positive, even though I'm still struggling with my health issues. So I feel like I've let go of a lot of things, and I've also let go of perhaps this image of myself. Pigeons are arriving from everywhere. I feel like there really is a pigeons just like less than a meter away from me looking at me. Okay, I feel like I've also let go of maybe this image of myself that I had that was unable to change, that was unable to move forward and to move on. This very weak and fragile image that I had of this person that was not going to be able to change school, that was not going to be able to make new relationships and meet new people. And I realized that that's not who I am actually. I am capable of meeting new people. I am capable of forming new professional relationships. I am capable of just, I hope so, having creating a good impression, a good first impression on people that I will work with. And I was chosen by a director of a school, and maybe that's nothing for a lot of people watching that, but when you struggle with anxiety and when you lack, in a way, self-confidence, that's a lot. And that's really a lesson for me to stop always second-guessing myself and judging myself before I even tried doing things. And I am not the only one doing that. I know for sure that's something we share, a lot of us, and sometimes we don't even try. For the longest time I was someone that would not even try doing things because I was afraid of failure. I was afraid that I would not succeed, and I was so afraid of the feelings I would have in case of failures that I would not even try in the first place, which is just not the way to go. It really isn't the way to go. And I'm so happy, and I'm actually a little bit proud of myself, a little bit happy about myself, that I went through all the process of changing schools, which is not the worst process, but still, it's long. You have to fill paperwork, to fill in paperwork, you have to get appointments, you have to go through job interviews, and that's a very stressful time as well. And you have to kind of, explain why you're so good as a teacher that they want to hire you. As I am here, closing this school year and this year of, professional suffering, and entering this new chapter, and I'm really excited for all that's to come and all the new responsibilities that I will have as well, because I will perhaps talk about that in the video, but I'm gonna be so busy next year, and I have so many things to do, and I'm gonna have a lot of responsibilities that I didn't have before. But as I am just really enthusiastic and really positive about that, and I'm like, oh, I'm actually moving on and moving forward, I am also now kind of stuck again, because there are other areas of my life in which I can't seem to let go. And I'm gonna stop this video now, and that's gonna be the next video that I will publish on this letting go thing. And yeah, I feel like that's gonna be something I'm gonna need to work on that. I can't let go of relationship, and I can't let go of certain people and certain expectations of people. So that will be the next video, because if I keep talking about that, the video is gonna be 40 minutes long. So I just wanted to start this with a little bit of context to explain why I've been thinking of this, letting go, for the past week or so, and why it's been on my mind every day, daily. And I also wanted to start with a positive experience of letting go, because that's important too, and we need to focus on the positive too. And I will, in my next video, talk about the things I struggle with a bit more, a lot more actually, when it comes to letting go. And I'm hoping to get a third and final video that's gonna be, wow, very emotional, I think, and that's gonna be more of an interrogation mark, a question mark. What am I saying? An interrogation mark, a question mark, because the last video is gonna be about dreams and projects. So that's gonna be a whole new topic. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed watching this video. I hope this somehow resonated with you, and I hope you do enjoy me sitting down and chatting with you like we used to do. Let me know if there are any topics that you would like me to talk about in that way, and I will see you very soon for the follow-up. So, bye guys.